I'm gonna show you how to solve LEETCODE question 261 graph valid tree. So you have a graph of n nodes and the n nodes are labeled from 0 to n minus 1 and you're giving an integer of n, a list of edges where edges I equals there's A and B indicates there's a such undirected edges between nodes A and B in the graph. For example, like you are giving n as 5, so you start from 0, n minus 1 until 4, and the edges are like this. So you have connections between 0, 1, and 0, 2, 0, 3, and 1, 4. So return true if the edges of the given graph make up a valid tree and false otherwise. So this one, it's a valid tree because there is no cycles and it looks like a valid tree. So to be a valid tree, you need to make sure that all these nodes are connected with each other. The other thing that you need to make sure is that they don't form a cycle. So the first thing I thought about is this case you need to use a set. If a node that you have already visited, you don't want to make them visit them again. And if you do that and you detected a cycle, then it's not a valid tree. Like this case, it gives you all the edges and the output return false. So these are the two things that we need to remember, and the edges that they give to you just indicating that there is a undirected edge between node A and B in the graph. So it just show you the connection. So I'm gonna show you how to do this in the code. First, you want to rule out if the n is no, then you want to return true, because when a tree like this, then it's a valid tree, right? So then what I'm gonna do is it gives me all these edges and I'm gonna write this edges into the adjacency list. So I would give it a map, say I, for I in range n, right? So I want to put I out there, and 4 and 1 and 2, basically the nodes, node 1 and node 2 in edges in this list that they give to us. What I wanted to do, since it's not directed, so I wanted append n2 to n1, and I also wanted to append n2 n1 to n2. So after this step, I have write the input and also I have write the edges to the adjacency list. And then after that, I want to make sure use a visit set to track the node that I have visited before. So then I'm gonna write the depth search function. And for this one, I want to pass the parameter as a node that where I started and also a parent node. If it's a parent node, like I started from 0 and then go to 1, right? And then 0 will be the parent node and 1 is the current node. So if node is already in visit, right, that means we have already visited this node and then we detected a cycle. Then we want to return false in this case. And if it's not there and after I go through, then I wanted to add the node to the visit set. And after that, after I wrote all the edges list for the neighbors in the adjacency list, node. So basically the N1 and N2, if the neighbor equals to the parent node. So like if the neighbor is equals to 0, like say the parent node, then I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna continue to run this. And then I'm gonna run the depth search on all the neighbor nodes that in the list, and the previous node of all the neighbors is the node. And if this depth search return false, in this case, I will return false. After I go through all the neighbor nodes in the adjacency list, if it's true, then I will return true in this case. So then that's it for the depth search function, and then I'm gonna return the result, right? How do we pass the depth search function parameters here? Basically, I want to return the depth search. I want to start from 0. So the 0's parents, so I will put it as -1 because there's no node in the list as -1. And this is not the only requirement though. The other thing that we need to make sure is true is the length of the visit. So all the nodes that we have visited has to be equal to node, meaning that we go through every single node exactly once. In this case, then we can return the result if it's true. So then we can see the result is as expected. And yeah, if node, I made a mistake here, if node in visit, and then I'll return false, and then I'll add the node for neighbors. Just taking a quick look here, make sure that I'm not missing anything. And then let's see. Okay, submit it. If you think the video is helpful, give me a thumbs up and I'll have more LeetCode questions coming up for you. Thank you.